Meditate upon the self as being of the nature of consciousness. The knowledge of consciousness is just the consciousness itself. Meditate by absorption of your sense of identity with the self as consciousness. It is not an object, as if something removed from what you are. It is self-known. Who am I? The knowledge of consciousness itself is alone profound non-dual meditation. Meditate upon consciousness by the light, by the knowledge of consciousness. All of the unreal disappears. Realizing your nature to be just consciousness is meditation that it is eternal, expansive beyond all measurement. Most certain, beyond all doubt. Without any going inward or outward. It is the reality realizing itself. consciousness knows itself. And not by any other means. I know consciousness, for I am consciousness. Thus should be the knowledge upon which you meditate. All right.
Thank you, Master. I'm just seeking a quick consideration of something that occurs to me when encountering the teachings of Sri Ramana and in some of your writings regarding multiplicity versus non-duality. Sometimes I have a feeling, and this may not be accurately expressed enough, but that if I consider what is there, I can have a deep conviction that it is a unity, that it is non-duality. It doesn't have to change in any of its elements or functions or anything. On the other hand, maybe from old habit, I can again consider the situation and say, yep, that's it, that's multiplicity. But I wonder if it's really necessarily accurate in each case, the person who's doing that contemplation, me or whoever. And it's in seeing some of the Maharshi's teaching, he seems to offer ways to get out of that fix or beyond it.
Multiplicity. Multiplicity is not a reality.
Is what?
Not a reality.
Uh-huh.
The reality or existence itself is absolutely indivisible. It's neither a combination of many things grouped together, nor is it separate things individually existing. Non-duality is the nature of true knowledge. Multiplicity is the product of ignorance and does not actually exist, even to the extent of being considered by multiple viewpoints. Are you a multiplicity?
I hope not. No, I'm kidding. That's it. It might depend on what I think that expression means, to some extent. Like just because I could isolate particular objects or particular aspects, I can say, you see, that's a multiplicity. But maybe it can be a non-dual unity and still be like that.
It is neither a unity nor a duality nor a combination of the two. Those viewpoints are all dependent on taking sensory or conceptual concepts as being real. But you cannot determine reality by the senses, nor can you discern reality by thinking. What is neither sensed nor thought of, but is ever existent, is the reality, the self, which is only one of its kind.
And then it occurs to me, it's very convenient that we can always try to count how much I there is, and there's only one I. I mean, that seems to be an extra advantage in this analysis.
Instead of talking about how it was when I was meditating, I'm going to try to meditate and at the same time try to describe what that is, what I'm doing. So just diving deep inward to my existence, I can feel that I exist, and I also have, with that, I know that I exist. And to try to intensely inquire about what that is, I ask myself, is this consciousness in this existence, is this I? Is this what I am? Is this my identity? And is there anything else that I would claim as my existence? So trying to use that which knows that I exist to answer that question. As I dive in deeper, the idea that there are some objects that I could call myself just sort of fades away. It's just what remains is this feeling of I am, I know that I am. And is there anything else that could possibly be my identity? And thoughts, a body, and a world that I could call myself. I was going to say they're just not there, but there is no there, sort of, to... there's just this kind of unity feeling of just that I am, I know that I am, and then to try to keep finding ways to make sure that that's really the case by asking, it just sort of runs out of like places to go. The mind's just kind of gone. There isn't anything else really going on.
The reality of existence is pure. There is nothing else going on. There is only one significance to I. There are no other I's. Attain certainty by discerning inquiry.
That's what I really want to know, is how to leave nothing out unquestioned. How do I make that discerning thorough and complete so there's no
when the knowledge is the same as consciousness, it is complete and certain. If there is another attempting to do so, certainty will not be there.
I think
in the consciousness itself, there is knowledge, and that knowledge is certain. By inquiring, one can know this without any delay.
Okay, I think I can see what you're pointing to. Is my question was to find out if there's anything that hasn't been questioned. That sounds like it's coming from like a second one, and not the consciousness itself.
The consciousness itself constitutes true knowledge. That knowledge is certain, requiring nothing else to prove it.
Mm. So the way I was asking a few moments ago, that must indicate that I think there's a second one that doesn't know, that's trying to find out.
Thus it has a borrowed existence, a borrowed consciousness, both of which do not exist.
I think I can, as you pointed out, I think I can feel that sort of imaginary that imaginary second thing that isn't really consciousness. It seems to have some knowing ability, but I don't think it really does.
Thoughts are not consciousness. Inquire to know consciousness, not to know a thought about it.
So what I know for certain as I don't have to think about my existence to exist. That's the one place I can find that I know what you're talking about when you say
listening, reflecting, and profoundly meditating can be simultaneous. Inquiry is always available, always possible, and requires no preliminary. All right.
thank you.
Shanti.